just so happy at the way the Utah Jazz are playing. It's just immaculate. It makes me smile so hard. On a more serious note, shout out to John Collins for being the one bright spot in this game. Goodness gracious. What's up, Logic? Was it wrong of me to hold out hope in this game? Was that crazy of me? I don't think I asked for much. It's the freaking Grizzlies. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not as bright as I thought I was. Yeah, it's okay. It happens to the best of us. Who else we got in here? How are we feeling, gentlemen? You said the Trailblazers felt worse? Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Derek, yes, sir. See, working, so I've been able to watch the game, but I ain't about to miss the Wraith Who's live. Yes, sir. You already know. Glad to have you with us. Sporting the new mic. You know, credit to the what you call it? My brain's quitting on me. Uh oh, the donos definitely been my saving grace. You know, I don't know if my audio actually sounds different, but I mean, it's roughly in my eyes a similar mic, but it just has a wider range that it can pick up audio wise. But it looks different. It looks a little bit more official. Like the other one I could hold in my hand, though. This one you can't really like take it off the stand and hold it in your hand and chat. But, you know, Derek, yes, actually, you were a very significant part of this. If memory serves me right. Because I hit 170 on $170 last stream. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna upgrade the mic. So I upgraded the mic. I also have jerseys coming in the mail. I don't remember if I said that last stream, but I got jerseys coming in the mail. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks, I'll shift my camera over this way and I'll be sitting in the middle of the couch and y'all won't see L anymore. He'll be covered probably by this Colin Sexton jersey, among some other things. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, how are we down so much? The first quarter was pretty solid. Defensively, we weren't great on the interior. Without Walker Kessler on the floor, they know they can exploit us because your 7 isn't much of a shot blocker. He's a strong paint presence, but he's not a shot blocker, which is why there's been a couple shots that he just hasn't been able to get to. He also leaves his feet a little too early. Alongside that, we have John Collins fighting for his life, 6 of 9 from the field, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Fontecchio played 15 minutes and was 0 of 5 from the field. That's a big part. It sounds minor because those are 5 missed shots and he didn't have any turnovers, but he also had 4 assists. The issue is he's not hitting his shots and he's not terrific enough on defense or consistent enough on defense for us to sit there and say, okay, we can live with these misses beyond a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, going down the list, honestly, we get to Keontae George, who's played 15 minutes as well, 1 of 3, hit one of his 2 3-pointers, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Overall, not terrible for him, but he does have no assist to 2 turnovers. Jordan Clarkson, I noticed that Keontae is actually being put at the shooting guard spot today. I don't know if that's intentional, but across multiple sites I'm seeing it. So I guess that's what the lineup was supposed to be run as. So that's probably why his playmaking just hasn't been a factor. Jordan Clarkson, 2 of 6 from the field, kind of predictable, but 2 of 5 from 3. So that's relatively acceptable. 2 of 3 from the free throw line to go along with 2 rebounds, 3 assists. And actually, never mind. I was about to compliment his turnovers. I thought he had 0. No, he has 3. Psych! I lied. Walker has been rough a little bit. Defensively, he's been playable, right? Offensively, he's been a problem. 1 of 6, with most of them being like clean up the glass type shots, is the biggest issue. He did finally take 1 3, but he was unwilling to take so many jumpers that it was pissing me off. Like at one point, the big is beneath the free throw line. Walker's borderline 1 foot outside the 3-point line, 1 foot inside the inner circle at the top of the key. and it was supposed to be like a dribble handoff situation. He doesn't dribble, he just pivots and then waits for, I believe it was actually Jordan Clarkson. It was Clarkson or it might have been THT to get up there and get the ball. And in my head, I'm like, bro, that's a wide open midi. Like he's giving you 8 feet of space. That's a shot you have to take. If Yurt was in that position, he's taking that shot. He might not always hit it, but Yurt's going to be willing to take that shot. He's 2 of 4 from the field right now to go along with 4 boards. So offensively, Yurt has been more pleasant to watch than Walker has, but Walker defensively has been more productive. Uh, Night guy, what's up, buddy? You said Collins brought his hard hat and the metal lunch pail to the game as normal. He's a hard worker. That's why it's so hard to knock John Collins because defensively, he's not always the most sound. As of late, he hasn't been like completely egregious, but he's always so consistent offensively to the point where he's always if he shoots below 50% from the field, I'm like, oh, John Collins did not have a good shooting night when it's literally like the entirety of the league shoots in the 40s. But I'm just so accustomed to him shooting 50% or above because he does take such a usually a smaller number of shot attempts. Like he's already taken 9 shots. Usually in a game, he has like 8 shots, but he's working. He's working. And I appreciate that because he's really the reason we're still in this game. Here we go, back at action, start of the third quarter. The action has seemed so weird to me. Yeah, Clarkson didn't swing his head around fast enough. I really don't know if okay, so if you're Yurt in that situation, you have to come help in my head on that particular play. Now, that's just to be like to give him the opportunity to possibly make a wraparound pass. All right, let's see it. Fontecchio. Nope, didn't get it. Okay. How the bro? How? How does only one man go back on the fast break and the other 4 stay back on defense, but the only player for their team gets a wide open 3? I'm not understanding. The math is not mathing. No offense. The math is not mathing. Derek, you said, how do I make my name green? Cole Logic. Yes, sir. Become a member, bro. I did who was it? Tatum said you have to do it on a laptop though. He said if you try to do it on your phone, it won't the join button won't come up. That was the only thing. But yes, sir. Side note, by the way, I don't hate Colin Sexton. His shot selection has irritated me. He's only taken 3, but I'm like a nip it in the bud guy real quick. You said what happened? Right now, the Grizzlies could beat a team with Magic, Bird, Kareem, Jordan. Jesus Christ, unreal. It's bad. It's bad. Like the wide open shot for Desmond Bain coming back down the floor should not have happened. There's no way 4 of us get down on the and because we don't return on the fast break. The shot gets blocked and it's a 2-on-4 fast break for them and he takes a wide open 3. That's unacceptable. You can't let that slide. And we did somehow majestically. Let's see. Looking at the bench, Colin Sexton and THT have both been subbed in and pulled at the same time, so they're both in there for 9 minutes. Combined 0 of 8 from the field, 0 of 2 from the 3-point line. Sexton has 4 boards to nope, I lied. Sexton has 1 board to THT's 2. Colin has 2 assists, obviously, and then he also has 2 turnovers, and THT has no assists and 1 turnover. It's just rough. It's just rough. And also, THT hasn't had the best shot selection overall for this game, which is something to also pay attention to. The guy, it's just messy. It's just such a messy game. Listening to the Grizzlies commentators is also partially irritating me a little more than it probably should. Like they said, Colin Sexton didn't give enough effort on the what was it on that steal where D Rose tips it to himself and then goes and finishes at the rim. I was like, "No, he gave effort. He was just not in position to make a play on the ball." Like, he was there. He at that point, D Rose just had better position. That's what it came down to that time. That was weird to me. That and they kept pushing it. That was what I think really irritated me. Nastiness. You said turn the lights off. Yeah, they need to go in and cut those things. We got to make this thing a game. Losing isn't the worst part, but losing like this is bad. The Grizzlies are not at 20 points better. They're 3-13 right now, right? If memory serves me right, they're 3-13. They're no. This is a game we have to win. Actually, we lost to the Trailblazers and losing to these guys. No offense to them because they're not a terrible team. I make it sound like they're hot dog water. They're not. They just don't have all the pieces to be able to consistently win and string together wins. So that's why we have to win. No, it's back on. All right, here we go. That might have been a clean block by Triple J. Yeah, if they challenge it, they'll win this challenge. Yeah. Big Ear lost it on the way up. Jackson has never fouled anyone ever. It's bad because we're just playing sloppy at this point. Like, you can't even sit there and say that it's them being like super good because while they are playing better than they typically do, we're just playing bad. Too many lazy passes, not enough effort just overall when players are in the game. It's ugly. Fontecchio's 0 of 6 now. What are we shooting overall from the field? Let me check. 29%. Never mind. I wish I didn't check actually. What the 29%, 14 of 48. That's actually like scary. Scary how bad it is. King Fluke, what's up, Brody? You said they're just simply putting in more effort. Yeah, they just want it more. They're tired of losing. They see a Utah Jazz team that's just going to give the game, apparently give the game up, right? No Lowry. They said no Lowry, no problem. We got it. Looking at their metrics, who is hold on, no, hold on, no. I'm about to get real. It's about to get real ugly. Fontecchio has to get pulled. Fontecchio objectively has to get pulled. He has to get pulled from the game. He's 0 of 6 from the floor, and he is also the man defending David Roddy, who is 7 of 10 from the field in 15 minutes, 5 of 8 from 3, and before halftime tied his season high points of 17. So Fontecchio is a big part of the problem. Yep. He has to get pulled. He's not the only problem. Don't get it twisted. That's not what I'm saying. Because their starters, Derrick Rose is 4 of 6, Desmond Bane is 5 of 9, Bismack is 2 of 2, Jaren Jackson Jr. is 4 of 8, David Roddy is 7 of 10. Nobody's shooting below 50% from the field. That's not okay. That's absolutely not okay. Zaire Williams off the bench is 4 or 5 from the field. They're shooting 58% from the field. 9 to 24 from the three-point line to make it 37.5%. You said, I wish we could just pull the trigger on trades. Danny's war chest of picks mean nothing if not used. Number 9 pick in the draft is in the G League because we all love Olynyk so much. Also, they're trying to turn him into more of a 3 and D type player, which is why he hasn't been pulled up yet because he hasn't been shooting well. And he's not dominating the G League team. Excuse me real quick. He's not dominating the G League team in competition like they thought he would. And that's also a part of the issue. Last time I checked, he was shooting like 42.5% from the field. He is shooting 35% from three, but that 42% from the field has to go up. The biggest issue for him is that he played a majority of his time in the area of basketball with a back-to-basket offensive game. Defensively, that's fine because he's a great help side defender. The issue offensively is he doesn't have the forward facing the basket bag aside from his three-point shot. But yeah, I'm going to be dropping a video 2 actually. I'm going to see if my editor can add clips to my one. Tonight he's in India. Sachin, he's in India, so I'm hoping he can go ahead and add some clips to it. And if he can, we'll go ahead and post it tomorrow. If not, I'll just wait on it. It's regarding Keontae George. And then I have another Fontecchio, finally. Finally. Good God. 1-7 is nasty work, but we needed it nevertheless. We got to get something on. We can't end the game like this. Everybody keeps leaving their feet. Ure needs to stay on his feet. He's too big to be jumping. Fontecchio, that was just objectively, that wasn't a bad look, but his feet weren't set. Oh my God, Clarkson. I saw what Jordan Clarkson was trying to do, but that just wasn't the pass he needed to make, in all honesty. That just wasn't it. In the first half, we were also telegraphing a lot of our passes. I noticed that as well, which is problematic. He said hit another 3. He hit the first. Oh yeah. Maybe he heard me talking trash. I think he heard me talking trash and he said, I can't let that slide. I mean, if he's going to start nailing them, keep him in. No rush, no rush, no rush. Quality offensive possession, boys. Yeah, we are making these guys look like all-stars. I'm sick to my stomach. Oh, that might be a jump ball, low-key. Looks like the Senators playing the Globetrotters. Yo, chill. That's nasty. I mean, overall, this game has just been not what we were hoping for. For Pete's sake, the Grizzlies are shooting basically 60% from the field. Derek, shout out to you, man. I saw you hit me with that I saw you hit me with that 5 basketballs you just bought, sir. Thank you. That money definitely went for the camera first, or excuse me, towards the mic. Next, it's gonna go towards the camera. Yes, sir. 5? 5 basketballs? Derek, you've outdone yourself, sir. What a foul? A foul on Collins for that is crazy, actually. Let the boys play. Really, that's not a foul on anybody. That's just poor ball control, in my opinion. But you know what chokes my goat? We could have had this me. Night guy, calm down. I don't need any more negativity in my life. I've seen enough. I have seen enough of the. Oh my god, John, chill, John. Please, John. Gotta help you get back where you gotta be after the year. I still don't have my car back. So I was supposed to get it back last Saturday, actually. So today's Wednesday. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I was thinking, like, you know what? Maybe I misheard him, and he meant this coming Friday or this coming Saturday, which I hope he didn't. But we'll find out, won't we? We have no choice. Think of puppies. Think of puppies is crazy. Bro, we're struggling. We're struggling. Still, yeah. Yep, still, Derek, still. It's it's a process. It's kind of like I'm so involved in the life of the Jazz and creating videos and stuff and trying to decide how I can like get to 1,000 subs that I'm not even worried about my car. So in a way, the Jazz's struggles are helping me in a weird way. Come on, Collins. Come on, Collins. Yep, nice. What the? I need to see this replay real quick. Hold on. Yeah, yeah, it's nasty. They don't seem to like that foul call. Let me see it. Yeah. It's a pretty good call by the officials, I'm not gonna lie. How long have you been making videos? Found my channel 2 weeks ago. That's interesting, man. Since what, mid-June? Or late June, I think, was the first when I really started uploading. And then I became a Jazz content channel like 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. It was August time, I believe. Because we're in November, about to be December. So it's definitely been all in November. It's definitely been all of October. So I think it's been at some point in September or August-ish. Probably September. Like mid-September. But no. I'm slow. It had to been early September because I told myself I was gonna I'm just gonna drop a daily video until I hit 1,000 subs. I wasn't gonna stop until I hit 1,000 subs. I'm at 774, I think, right now. Which is why I also made the post asking the people that watch my channel but don't subscribe, how can I get you to subscribe? Like, what about my content is good enough for you to watch it but not want to subscribe? How can I entice them? You know what I'm saying? Into subscribing and joining the community. And then from there, I just got to convince everybody to become members so I can not quit every job, but have a lot more time to just sit and like actually stare this stuff through. Good take by Clarkson, by the way. C-Dog, what's up, boy? You said just tuning in to say the Jazz are coming back to win this one. I would like to see it, but it's a tough game right now. Kessler's fighting. I don't know if it's like bad positioning for him right now when he's going for rebounds or what. I don't know. %34 from the field. Bane's jumper looks so wonky to me. I don't know why, but it still goes in. I guess Tyrese Halliburton is similar. Fantecchio definitely heard me talking trash, and he said, "I'm finna light it up." So he's what? 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, but 3 of 11 overall. So I'm not off his back yet. He said, "Work's picking up. I'll see you. Hop on later." Yes, sir. Looking forward to it, Derek. Appreciate you, brother. Let John Collins cook. Hold up. Dang, Fontecchio. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. That's why they got you in the game, huh? That's why they're letting you play. I might have to apologize if we get back in this one. If he single-handedly carries us back in this game, I'm gonna have to apologize to him. Not yet, though. Not yet. He's 4-12. I'm not giving it to him yet. That's 33% from the field. But that three-point shooting is very much needed. High key. Excuse me. Tay, what's up, Brody? Yeah, apparently we're the worst road team. I just heard their commentators cooking at us. Yeah, what Sea Dog said, I'm hoping. Tayin. New mic. New mic. Shout out to your membership. I had to shout out what's his name? I had to shout out Derek too. Cause they he definitely helped me get this mic. Without him, there was no mic. And if Lee pops in here too, I have to thank him for the mic too. Age said we need our pick. I think we have a 2.5%, if that. Yeah, that's fair. If you can get it within 12 or under in the quarter, game on, baby. You know what? I'll bite, Sea Dog. I'll bite just for you. I'll bite this one time. If they can get it within 12, 12-ish, 10-ish, it's still a ball game. It's still a ball game. And they can it's gonna be hard. The Grizzlies aren't gonna make it easy. But Fontecchio is doing everything he can to put us in this game. We need to go ahead and reward him with some good stops on defense. Not gonna lie. I placed a bet on Memphis at halftime. I always lose my bets. Tay Bro, what? No, that might be the wildest thing I've heard in some time, brother. Oh my goodness. You know what? If this actually works, Tay, you might have to bet on the other team every single game going forward. Well, no, not every time. You know, we gotta we gotta take some honorable losses here and there. We can't win everything. The thing is, I'm laughing because I know you're dead serious. Like I know you're not lying to us right now. You definitely placed that bet. Oh my goodness. If it works though, is that gonna be the move? Sexton on the floor. Woo! I think my game's a little bit behind y'all's. I placed it hoping I'd lose, no joke. That's real. Yo, Fontecchio said he's trying to win, bro. They definitely stopped that fast break, Loki. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ruff. He is. I got to give credit where credit is due, but I'm hesitant because if I praise him, he's gonna start breaking everything again. Come on. No rush, Colin. No rush. No rush. No rush. No rush. Nice. Nice. THT. No rush. Nice. That was a beautiful 3-2. That was a good attempt. It's okay. Good hand up, but late. My game's a little bit behind. Hang on. You said he got clocked. Let me see. What happened? My game must be super behind. Goodness. Am I not there yet? THT getting his first bucket of the game. Yeah, I think that the situation with the Utah Jazz is too chaotic right now for THT to be successful, and so I don't often say he's trash. I just say that he can't produce and be his true self in our system, and because there's not that like certain level of consistency, and he hasn't melded well so early on. By starting him, you're effectively saying that you're comfortable with losing a lot of games. The video that I'm probably going to drop hopefully tomorrow at some point about Keontae George is roughly similar because we're prioritizing two things, right? The development of the rookies or the younger players, so to speak, as well as trying to win games. And we're not really winning too much right now. Obviously, the past couple of games have been a lot prettier than the other ones, but Keontae, by my sight, is low key not part of the solution right now. He is the developmental piece that will be the solution at some point in the coming few seasons. But right now, I don't think you win enough with Keontae starting. Now, with that in mind, oh, Tyson, you said check it on this. Hard to watch the game. Check it later. Yes, sir. I'll see you, boy. Um, this is ugly. The thing that I say is I thought that Chris Dunn should have been the guy to start the regular season. I know Finn has an alternative opinion to me when I go about Chris Dunn and Sexton, but to me, Chris Dunn is more deliberate than anybody else. He was the most pure point guard, and Keontae would have learned the best from observing him. Now, for some reason, he just got better. Good God, we suck. We're getting cooked. Thank you. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, uh, Dunn and Keontae should be sharing minutes for the one. I think that Dunn should be the starting point guard at the one for two reasons. Just to give a quick summary of my video, since there's only a couple of you guys in here, and y'all will probably end up watching it anyways. Dunn plays better defense. Dunn is the better immediate ball distributor. He's going to take less shots, and if you give him the minutes, he's not going to force shot attempts. So he's going to take good shots in the ones that he does take. I don't think he's going to shoot particularly bad. They called him out. They said him and Lowry were out today. The previous game though, I didn't think that they put him at I don't think they put him as injured as like an injury out. They just said they just had him not play. THT probably has the most trade value realistically out of anybody that we're willing to cut ties with. You said any chance we prioritize Jones from the Wizards? I don't know because they don't seem to be in love with Jordan Poole as much as everybody originally thought they would be. So because of that, they probably keep him and try and see if they can send Jordan Poole somewhere. I don't know how likely that is though. But I was gonna say Dunn at the starting point guard, Keontae at that secondary position, getting about 20 to 25-ish minutes a night. That way, if you stagger their minutes, you're starting out the gate with a much better defensive lineup. With that as well, a video that I'm gonna drop later on, I'm thinking Sexton over Clarkson. Now, walk with me on this one because I know it sounds kind of crazy because Clarkson has been starting shooting guard this entire time. But if I'm gonna give Sexton 20 shots, if you were to give Chris Dunn 20 shots a night, I guarantee you they hit more than 6. There's been too many games where Jordan Clarkson takes as many jumpers, as many shots as Lowry Markkinen, or more, or slightly less, and he's missing too many. Now, combine that with subpar overall defense, even though he has more length and size than Colin, and that's just problematic in and of itself in my eyes, right? We need a consistent secondary scorer who can score copious amounts of buckets with good efficiency, not just a volume shooter. Tatum, I can't back that because the career numbers say otherwise. What would make you say that Clarkson is the better shooter out of the two? Because if we look at it from me, I look at it from when they both start. But this season, plus Sexton when he was on the brain fart on the Cavaliers, he was a very good shooter. Now, I would say that Clarkson is probably a better volume three-point shooter. That is one thing I will give him because I believe Sexton's best efficiency from 3 came on like 4.2 attempts a game, and Clarkson's more likely to shoot like closer to 6 or 7 a night. At the very least this year, that's the way things are looking. But I gotta I'm feeling my thing with Sexton is if you give Sexton minutes and you tell him he's not going to sit here and get benched the moment he makes a mistake, and you play him not alongside THT, I believe that him as a shooting guard, right? Because as no matter what we want to say, Colin Sexton is 23-0 in fast break points is insane. Bro. Golly. This is just nasty. This is so nasty. This is terrible. This is actually so terrible. Well, it seems like Tayton actually won his bet, so I don't know how much you put in there, but I'm glad you got your money back, Tayton. At least something good came from this. Cause goodness. Thanks, Colin. 23-2 in fast breaks. THT was feeling that three, I guess. I'll take it. 2 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from the three-point line for THT. Not ideal. Sexton is also not shooting well. Sorry. You said a lot of Clarkson. I think that's supposed to be an S. A lot of Clarkson's bad shooting is a result of poor shot selection, which is because of a bad rotation. When he has someone like Conley on his side, he's amazing. Last year specifically, yes, I will agree. I can agree with you on that one. But I think for this particular situation that we have on the roster, it's better to not have him starting, or at the very least, if you're going to start him, you have to cut down the number of shot attempts that he's allowed to take. Because when he's having bad shooting nights, there hasn't been a game where he started out having a bad shooting night and the shooting night got better. It continued to get worse. And that's just a big negative because yes, he's gonna give them like, the thing is he's one of those players where like if he feels like he should score 20 points against the team, he's gonna take as many shots as he needs to get to 20 or 22 points, which is nice because that means he's tenacious. That means he's always going to shot hunt. The issue is he doesn't always take the most intelligent shots, which you alluded to when you said his shot selection is more so the issue, not just his overall ability to shoot, because we know he can shoot. But there's so many games where he just takes certain shots. It's like, bro, like we get it. You think you're him, but at the same time, I want to win this game, please. Like he's got to lock in. And I think right now, because we don't have a solidified number one, because apparently we're not going to give Chris Dunn a chance, right? To me, it makes sense to give Chris Dunn a chance. It should have been THT at the gate. It should have been Chris Dunn. He was the most pure playmaking point guard on the roster. He's not going to. I don't see too many games where you see Chris Dunn plays 30 minutes and he takes more than maybe at like a season high for him. I think would be probably 12 shot attempts. 12, which isn't crazy. Because we've seen Keontae shoot a significant offensive basket interference is insane. Um that's not basket interference. Is that basket interference? No. That's not basket interference. But yeah, Tayan, you said I was saying the 2 spots should be shared by Clarkson once we trade for someone else. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, I'm not saying like Clarkson is buns, by the way. Let me clarify that. My thing is if you don't think you can trade Clarkson and get a significant piece back, right? Like if for some reason the Wizards said Tyus Jones for Clarkson right now, straight up, give us a second round pick in these coming years, deal instantly. That being said, life isn't that easy. It's never been that easy, as we can see by the game where that's terribly gracing our screens where we're down 20. Um, yeah, it's just not. We can't catch a break. Dang. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Tay. And yeah, no way it's basket interference. I agree. Um, like you said, you agree with me on Dunn. Yeah, I because the thing is, Dunn is the closest thing to a pure point guard we have. He makes the best decisions with the ball in his hands. He's not super turnover prone. When he makes decisions, he makes the ball go where it needs to go, right? When Keontae first started at point guard, you were seeing him have those Chris Dunn like qualities. He was also risking it for the biscuit and it was paying dividends. And in the beginning, you saw Clarkson also be a better shooter because he didn't have to worry about playmaking at all whatsoever, right? If Clarkson has to play make, you're struggling. That's basically the summary of everything we've had so far. Oh my goodness, offensive rebound. Desmond Bain tipping it to himself while three Jazz players are in the area is absolutely diabolical. They're just having fun now, and I hate that. I hate that. Maybe that's crazy. You said you guys might think it sounds crazy, but the Jazz should chase Josh Giddey. I wouldn't be mad at it. Side note: a lot of people are being boneheaded with the Josh Giddey situation. Is it just me? Am I the only person that thinks that everybody's being idiotic about it? Because I don't think it's as deep as everybody's trying to push it to be. If the Jazz, apparently the Thunder knew about this situation since last year. So whatever happened, whatever the situation was, they already investigated. It was already brought to their attention, probably by Giddy himself, and it was addressed. So clearly, it isn't what everybody's saying it is, right? That's for one. For two, the people aren't cooperating with the authorities, so it's a wash, anyways. The memes that came from it are funny though, like the whole passing the torch thing from what's his name, from Carl Malone to Josh Giddey, like the youngest and oldest to ever have a triple double in a game, and then just like the passing the torch of the other thing, and it's like, yeah, it's funny that we insinuate these things and make these jokes, but at the same time, clearly, it's not that deep. Because if a Thunder knew about it for a year, there's information that hasn't been released that they understand, and the league, I'm sure, has been briefed on it as well. But they have to do the theatrics of investigating and making sure that everything's everything, so on and so forth. But of course, everybody's going to say, "Well, if the family's refusing to cooperate, that means that he did it," and that's not what that means. Because lying about that is also a crime. But neither here nor there. It also isn't going to be a good look if she was the one that lied. But silly geese, they wouldn't agree with that. Um, but unless we lose by by less than 3, I won't be upset. I want to keep Clarkson. He's won 6 man of the year for a reason. Correct. He's a good fit with Lowry off the bench as well. I would also agree with that. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip over that earlier when you typed that, Tayton. You said if we're going to play like this, why not get Hendricks and Sensabaugh in there? I know we ain't gonna go to the finals, so let's see what we got. So the biggest thing, Sensabaugh, they want him to become a playmaker. The reason why they have him on the G League team right now is to make him a playmaker. They know at Ohio State, he was a volume shooter. He was like a Clark, like what we see when Clarkson won 6 man of the year. That was basically Sensabaugh in college. He's going to take a lot of shots. He's going to get a lot of buckets. He's going to be a little bit turnover prone, and he's not going to be known for passing the ball. But 20 points. That's basically sensible. And they want to make him more of a playmaker now. And he's showing that sense apparently really well, but just not well enough to obviously crack the rotation of what we have, because you have to get rid of at least two guards. I'm thinking two specifically point guards, right? Me personally, what I would say. That remains to be seen how they're gonna play it, obviously. So we don't know that for sure. But I think Sensible has a more clear advantage or path to getting onto the roster. For Hendricks, they want to make him more of a 3-and-D player. I didn't realize that his game was so much back to basket play when we first drafted him. I knew defensively he was a shot blocker, and in the G League he's been a great help side blocker. But Goodness. My bad, guys. I don't know what happened there. But offensively, they want him to be a three, be able to hit threes at a high percentage, and also have a decent face-up game before they pull him up, which is understandable. And considering we're this trash, I'm not going to say this trash, but considering we're this lackadaisical at times, we have really good games where we play against the Pelicans and we look like we can bang with anybody, or we play against the Phoenix Suns and we're like we can score with anybody, and then we have games like this against the Trailblazers and the Grizzlies where we're like, you know what, we can't play against the bottom of the league. Yeah, I definitely understand your warranted concerns. THT for three. Did he hit that? Calling for the ball with two hands in the air and missing your wide open three is diabolical. I should punch him in his chest. Sorry. Tay, you said I'm 22, not gonna lie. It's been times where it's been girls that were like 16, 17 that look 19, 20. Thank you. Because girls grow physically much faster than guys do. So they reach their peak build, right? Before guys do. That was crazy. That's crazy to say. Hold on. Peak build. It's like it's a video game. But they reach puberty faster, which means they finish puberty faster as well. And unless a girl directly, if you're inclined to give everybody, believe them at their word, basically, until they give you reason not to believe them you at their word, believe them at their word. Which is why they say, like, if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, act like you're in the right space at the right time, like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Because if you don't, then people are going to be like, what's going on? But if you look like you're supposed to be doing what you're doing right now, no matter how out of pocket it is, people won't question it because you have the confidence to pull it off. Yeah. Yeah. Josh is really young. We need to remember that. Yeah, he's literally 21. Fresh 21 too. Yeah, for real, we need to rest our guys now so we can play tomorrow. We already lost and made $2 off my $10 bet. Well, you know, at Dollar Tree, that's a pack of stale cookies. I like Dollar Tree cookies though, so that would be awesome. Low key. Time to pounce on Giddy is now. His value has taken a hit, even though he's innocent. And the Thunder are all in on SGA with obvious reasons. Naturally, Giddy's ball handling and playmaking is top echelon. He will fit the niche, and his play style is not super flashy, but it's also, I can live with that Kessler 3. He missed it, but I'll live with it. I'm not mad with it. Nice, Kessler. Oh, I love the energy. Oh, there's 17 turnovers. Yes, sir. We had 9 in the first quarter, though, so I guess we've gotten better as the game's gotten on. As crazy as that sounds, Jazz is very consistent at being inconsistent. Zay, you are correct. Oh, that's your first comment in the chat today, brother. How's it going? Glad to see you in here again with us. Collins is consistent. Lowry's consistent. You don't know what will happen between everybody else. I'm saying. Dollar Tree. Hey, don't sleep on Dollar Tree. I like Dollar Tree over Dollar General. I knew inflation was real when Dollar Tree raised their prices on certain items. I was like, oh no, Dollar Tree ain't even Dollar Tree no more. Family Dollar was never a dollar. He said, Sexton about to hit a 3. It wouldn't surprise me. It's about time. He's 1 of 7 from the field right now. I need him to hit one so I can validate future videos that I could drop. He's not having a good shooting night. Neither is THT. Dollar Tree over Dollar Tree. Which one is it supposed to be? Is it Dollar Tree over Dollar General or Dollar General over Dollar Tree? THT is the worst guy on the team. He's never been a good shooter. At the beginning of, okay, I will say this. Overall, this season, like the way the season started, he looked like he had been in the lab working on his 3-point shot. Now, we weren't expecting dead eye, right? Which is why that one time when it was clutch time when he missed, I was definitely not hoping for that. He shouldn't have been taking that shot. He wasn't that guy. But Caveat to that, he is a better three-point shooter than he has been in the past, which is why I understand some of the threes he takes. But it's just like, uh, uh, which THT are you today? Are you the shooter THT or the trash THT kind of thing? Dollar you over Dollar General? I'm an agree, Zay. I'm an agree. I agree. You said he had like a 15 game stretch where at the end of last year where he did good and everybody forgot he was 20. Yeah. Streak the NBA is it's a league of runs and it's very easy to not pay attention to certain things. Man, oh man. What can I say about today's game? Where are the bright spots? I'm trying to find them right now and I'm not seeing them. Yeah, I'm not seeing them. Fontecchio's 3-point shooting, I guess. He missed all 5 of his shots that weren't threes though, so can we really highlight that and call that a good thing? I don't know. That I do not know. See, dog, I appreciate that, bro. 100%. You know something that burns my biscuits aside from the Jazz losing games like this? The percentage of money that YouTube will pull out of anything that I get. But aside from that, now it's one of those things. You said I feel like a bunch of the guys on the. You said thanks for the chat. I'll see you, boy. Thanks for popping in here. I'm sorry we couldn't get the W. It made things more interesting for us. I feel like a bunch of guys on the roster on the Jazz are just pushing too hard. They get on the floor and try too hard not to fail, which is bad and confidence destroying. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Now, I actually have an interesting thought that comes out of that. You said THT also takes really bad layups. Like they're hard and don't expect them to hit him. But bro misses their incompletely way too. Yeah, he actually does. He acts like he has acrobatic finish on gold. You'd think he has the Kyrie Irving package, and he doesn't. I mean, we're down 20. Does the whistle really matter, Mr. Referee? Imagine Colin Sexton actually passing the ball and making the right play, and then you reward him with an air ball. I could never. Golly. Goodness. I mean, they didn't even need Marcus Smart to do us this dirty. That's the saddest part. That is the saddest part. They're not communicating over screens. Kessler block. THT down. Oh, no, that's Sexton. Yep. Sexton finishing. Sexton with all 4 of our fast break points right now, I'm guessing. It's Samanic? Lucas Samanic. I always said that. Samanic. I feel like Luca's kind of similar to Fontecchio in the fact of like his role on a team because he's known to be like that 3-point shooter. Kessler is trying to make a last ditch effort to finish, but it's not really working for us. Just like you said. Yeah. Simon's just crazy. One of my videos, I actually cut out me saying his last name because it didn't feel like I was saying it right. So I just called him Luca. Like each time I talk about it, I just call him Luca. Now I know. Salmonage. Interesting. Down 13. Smart tore into his team like a fat kid devouring cake. Looks like the team listened to him. Look, they took everything personal. Jazz got robbed with the tournament schedule. Yeah. Get another game against Dallas on the road and a home game against the Clippers. We play tomorrow or Friday? Where do we go from here? Let me know, Tayton. Kessler with 5 blocks. He said, no, because the tournament schedule isn't predetermined. So we play Mavs and Clippers in December. Oh, okay. I get what you mean. Okay. Okay, I understand what you mean now. My fault. Had a less than desirable moment. Let me see this. That's not a foul. We play the Wolves tomorrow, but we got 2 tough games added to the schedule. We wanted to get someone like Spurs or something. Yeah. Kessler's asking everybody to leave the store. Yeah. Count the basket. I don't agree with that. All we need is back to back steal 3, steal 3. That floored me. Mavericks 8-point comeback with 34 seconds 2 times in a row? Really? Who did they just come back against? Mm, on Sexton is funny, night guy. Ha ha. No, because remember they gave him the one on Samonich or Samonich. No, not Samonich. It was on Fantecchio. He got one on Fantecchio. So 5 are on him. How about that? No, I'm playing. I don't know how many, but I just remember that one block. This is a game. You said no last year they made an 8-point comeback with 34 seconds. I'm saying all I have to do is do that twice. Oh, okay. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Okay. Yeah. It's taking me a second to get it down. Yeah. Summon. It's gonna take me a second. Because for some reason I don't read it like I read Doncic, right? I don't know why that is. First time all year the Grizzlies have held a team to less than 100 points. I want to cry. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. These guys are there's something special. They are something special. We really gave them one of their John Morantless wins. I'm sick to my stomach. Okay, so at the hour and 9-minute mark, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a timestamp in my description so that people that just want to hear us talk about the post game can just come watch us talk about the post game when the time comes. Um, I've seen enough of this broadcast. I don't want to see this broadcast anymore. Cut that S off. Thank you. It's so bad. I should cut my phone off. Oh, we. All right. All right. So let's 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 uh let's get to the nitty gritty. Right. I've seen enough. I've heard enough. I am prepared to die on my mountain now. Right. Hopefully, a couple of the boys will join us now that the game's finished up. But in the meantime, in between time, let's see here. we're gonna talk about the good stuff first, right? We're gonna talk about the good stuff. John Collins. All right, on to the bad stuff. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm playing. I really could have ended it there though. That's the sad part. Um, John Collins 7 of 14 from the field, being his usual efficient self, 3 of 5 from three. Bless you. Thank you. You're welcome. He did end up missing both of his free throws from the attempts that he took, which was kind of surprising for me. But he did finish ending up with 4 boards. Kessler had the most boards with 8 off the bench. Omer Yurtseven actually only played 15 and a half minutes, low key. I think you could play 15 and a half like going forward. Like there's going to be some games where I don't think we play him, but for the most part, I think he has proven that you can play him in the game and it won't be absolutely egregious. Today, though, defensively, there was a lot of problems to be had. Um, let's see. First time all year they won in that stadium. Yes, yes, Tatum. Yes, yes. That hurt me. That hurted me. First time they got a home win. Why? Against us? Little old us? For what purpose? Our only road win came against these clowns, and we gave up 1-8 on the road now. Woohoo! I'm so happy. Um, You said, I'm starting to be patient, but I'm starting to question coaches' rotations. That's fair. I think it's more than just Will Hardy's mind at play in this entire scheme of things. Now, him shaking up certain things, I believe, has been him, but overall, some things were just inevitable. I need to understand why Chris Dunn isn't playing. I made my individual video as to what I thought was going on, but when I tell you I scoured the internet for articles regarding anything press related to Chris Dunn, I found nothing. Like, and I don't get it. And I don't get it. I don't. Um, Outside of that, we don't have a pure point guard, so we can't take advantage of Jordan Clarkson's best efficiency. Because he can't be efficient without a pure point guard on the floor with him, it limits the ability that he has to be effective. And if we're going to keep doing this and making him look like he can't play the game of basketball, we just need to go ahead and trade him. Right? We know Jordan Clarkson isn't a lockdown defender. We know he never tries to be a lockdown defender. He never said he was. He never played like he was going to be. So we can't set that expectation for him, even when he shoots bad. Right? He's a volume scorer. He has the ability to be a 6 man of the year any year that he plays, but we're just not using him the most. Now, with that on the side, he has to see the bench. If we're just because at this point in the first half of this first 16, 17 games now, we've just been testing a whole lot of stuff. It's time to go ahead and give Colin Sexton a start, and it's time to give um Chris Dunn the start. Right? Now that being said, I want Keontae being right there, right? Like, yeah, I want Chris Dunn starting because of his defensive abilities, right? But Chris Dunn, we know, is going to take him a second to adjust, and he's not going to be the most efficient starting out shooting from the floor, which means you're going to say, okay, well, Keontae George could shoot the exact same. Chris Dunn is more of a table setter than he is a scorer. We understand this, and he's the most effective guard defender we have. Ochai has the length and physical stature to get the job done, but he hasn't cerebrally matured to that point where he's locked down like Chris Dunn is. With that in mind, Chris Dunn starting at point guard. Since we're not going to put Clarkson in the best situation to win on his matchups because we know we can't, because we've been trying things and it just hasn't been working. Colin Sexton at the 2 because Colin Sexton can create his own shot. He shoots similarly away from them, like when he's shooting off the catch. He's obviously not going to be terrific on defense, but he's a slightly more positive player defensively because the effort is consistently there with him. He just lacks the height that Clarkson has. Clarkson 6'4". Really, I would argue that Sexton might not even be 6'2". He might be like 6'1 and a half, 6'1 and 3/4, low key. Kemba Walker type height. But yeah, I don't hate Collins on the floor alongside Lowry and Kessler, but you can't play all three of them together, right? Lowry needs you to set the table for him. I think Chris Dunn has the synergy to get that job done. Collins is going to be efficient no matter how much you play him. He's just not going to be great on the defense side of the ball. Aside of that, you have Even Key agrees. Um, Aside from that, staggering minutes between Kessler and Yurt 7 seems to be something that will be a mainstay. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just a thing, for lack of better phrasing. Now, with that being said, let me read through you guys' stuff so I don't get behind. Um, Ting, you said I will defend Clarkson, but only because the situation he's put in. Danny Ainge set the guards up for failure this year. Yeah, too much going on. And ideally, in a perfect situation, right? And Danny's perfect dream where everybody plays their part and everybody's efficient in the minutes they play. He is correct. But the percentage chance of that actually happening is so significantly low, it just wasn't likely from the start. And here we are, what, a sixth of the way through the season now? A fifth almost? Yeah, a fifth of the way through the season. Dang, it's flying by. And we're not seeing the consistency that we need. Um, Zach, what's up, bro? You said that was embarrassing. Personal reasons with a dude on guaranteed contract. It's normally family related, so prayers up. Unless he has a pregnant wife, girlfriend, then congrats. Feasible. Chris, you said the game was fine until Clarkson, THG, and Sexton hit the floor together in the end of the first quarter. Things got really out of control really fast. Fantecchio guarding David Roddy was terrible in the first half. Obviously, in the second half, Fantecchio got a little hot and hit all four of his shots because he did start the game 0-6. But him guarding David Roddy in that first the latter half of that first quarter and the beginning of that second quarter was just ugly for us. That was also part of the catalyst to their runs that really put them ahead and gave them the opportunity to hold a lead. It gave them a lead just in general. Christopher Jenkins, 100%. Yep, I'd agree. Highest content. Thank you, Key. Let's see. How do you all think the locker room is? You guys think these guys are getting along, or do you think Hardy switching things up caused some beef? I wouldn't say that it caused some beef, but it makes things very difficult because now you have a situation where, and here's the reason why I also think Clarkson needs to see the bench over Sexton. We're not setting Clarkson up to succeed. It's kind of like having a Ferrari and putting diesel gas in it. A Ferrari does not take diesel gas, so why are you putting it in there? And they say, well, this is all the only gas we have. And it's like, okay, it might run for a little bit, but you're destroying it at the same time. And it looks like a crappy car because it doesn't run on diesel. It's like, well, it's all we got, so it's going to have to work. That's basically how we're treating Clarkson right now, right? If we're going to do him like that, put him off the bench and give him the opportunity to play alongside Keontae George and let Keontae table set for him a little bit. Just put him in a position where he doesn't have to play make and he can just take shots as they come to him in the flow of the offense, right? With that being said, dual guarding it with Chris Dunn and Colin Sexton would be nice because ideally Colin Sexton is one of those guys where his confidence and his ability to play well is fed off of by the guys around him. He's a very community-based player. So if everybody's happy with him and everybody loves the energy he's getting out, he's going to keep dialing into that. But if he's not doing a great job and everybody either rags on him or he gets no feedback, he just stays stalled. The engine is stalled the entire time, which is why he feeds off of those highlight plays when he gets a really good stop that he wasn't supposed to get or something like that, because that's his highlight play. He hypes his teammates up. His teammates get hype. He's hype. He's more liable to make a highlight play the next time instead of a low light play. Now, the issue is when he makes low lights, we're liable to pull him out of the game. Why? Because him and THT are on the court at the same time. And when he makes a mistake, 9 times out of 10, THT made a similar mistake or a worse mistake. So because of that, they both get pulled, right? And actually, in this one, THT managed to somehow play more minutes than him. He played 2 more minutes, 24-22. THT was 2 of 12 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers. Sexton in 22 minutes was 3 of 10 from the field. Really, I don't know why he took that last 3 because it kind of like messes up his metrics, but I'm going to say it with the 3 anyways. just for the sake of authenticity. 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 4 from three, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 turnovers. Right. So roughly comparable games. Selection just a little bit more efficient, in my opinion. Um, a lot of over rotation this game. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget to say that. There was a lot of over rotations this game by a lot of the guys, a lot of open threes. They didn't really make us play. The one person that did obviously was David Riley. Desmond Bain didn't really, but when we gave up one, he missed his first one because it was well contested, but he was wide open for the second one, and he hit the second one towards the end of the game. And he ended up being 3 of 11 from the field, or excuse me, from the 3-point line, which obviously isn't good, but when you're trying to win a game and you're already ahead, you just need to hit enough to stay ahead. And that's what he did, you know. Um Last year, starting Olynyk and Kessler next to Lowry, they were a good trio. Yeah. John can come off the bench and be super good off the bench, hold the team together when we sub instead of falling apart. You raise a very interesting part, Tatum, and I've been giving that thought process a lot more merit because the thing that stops me from being able to argue tooth and nail behind John Collins. Offensively, he has to be played because he's efficient. He's never not been efficient. So you have to play him for the consistency of scoring because he's never going to let you down, right? He's a great third option. But Lowry, you need a consistent two. Clarkson has not been a consistent two, right? Keontae's shooting, he's not taking terrible shots, but sometimes his shot selection needs some work, and he's just not hitting the good shots that he takes. He takes a good number of good shots. He's not hitting them, which is the biggest problem. From there, you look towards Clarkson. Well, we're not setting the table for him, not putting him in a position to succeed. So he shouldn't be taking as many shots as Lowry. He's not a consistent second scoring option. Can't rely on Kessler to do it because Kessler's afraid to shoot a jumper half the time. Yeah, Fontecchio will shoot, but if he's not a hot hand, he might be a little bit of a liability because defensively, he leaves a couple things to be desired. Where else are we going from here? It's ugly. I do understand John off the bench though. The reason why I say that is because defensively, him and Olynyk are really dead even. Olynyk's not as bad defensively as I originally thought he was, and Collins isn't as good defensively as I was hoping he would be. They're both liable to occasionally get blown by. It's just that on offense, Olynyk is less likely to score the bucket himself and more likely to swing the ball. So if you have him on the court alongside Lowry, Lowry's going to get a more open look as long as Kessler is like screening for him, or even if Collins is on the floor with him, because those three also play well together. Collins, Olynyk, and Lowry. But the thing is, you can't have all three people on the floor being non-playmakers. Olynyk is a playmaker. The reason why we can't trade him is because we need playmaking, and we don't have a solid playmaker at the point guard spot yet that can consistently do it on a night in, night out basis to the point where if he has a bad game and has high turnovers one game, we're like, oh my God, this is an anomaly. How did this happen? They must have really locked him up. We don't have that. So Olynyk has to play. And I would, at this point, you would kind of have to experiment with Olynyk on the floor alongside Collins and Lowry and Lowry, or or Lowry and Kessler as a starter though. Because defensively, he brings the same level of intensity that John Collins does. He's not going to be a liability, but he's also not going to wall off the paint and like put somebody on an island. You don't love that matchup. Offensively, it just gives you a different taste of things. And if you really want to take advantage of the ability of Jordan Clarkson shooting or Larry Markkinen shooting, set the table for them. The best way to set the table, put playmakers on the floor. Chris Dunn and Olynyk. Dang, I really just sold myself on that. I like that. I liked it a lot. Zach, you said, I think the locker room is like 50-50. I feel like THT, Clarkson, Samanich are in a little negative zone. Other dudes like Lowry and Walker can't play half the time, and then the Brooks are just vibing. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, the energy that the guys have, like off the court, when you see photos and stuff, they all look like they have a cool vibe. Like it's like a class. Like, if you ever had all the basketball players inside of a classroom and they were just vibing in the class together, like, there's so many different personalities, but they seem to fit well together. Their play styles just aren't translating to match that, which is the issue. You said, but the negative boys are leaking through to the G Leaguers, I feel. Hmm. Kelly Olynyk without physical defensive skills but defensive instincts, correct. Collins with physical defensive skills but no defensive instincts. There you go. Yes. They complement each other so well, don't they? It's one of the most amazing things. Oh, tonight just got worse, guys. No lead tonight. He said he won't be able to catch it doing his back stretches and physical therapy exercises. I am sick. Lee, we miss you, brother. But we understand. Keep better. That being said, yeah, this is definitely not the same W live stream we had last game, which is understandable. But at the same time, you said, I have a feeling a trade deadline will be a very interesting time for the Jazz. Yeah. Dan, you got your picks in your treasure chest. Stop admiring, start using them. Something has to give. Something has to happen. That's how I look at it. Playmaker lineup, closing games, Dunn, George, Olynyk, marketing, you're at 7. Ooh, Tayton. Hold on. I like that. I like that a lot. It doesn't go very far as rim protection. Oh wow, rim protection goes because you're at 7. Just hasn't been that shot blocking presence. He's there, right? He just hasn't been the shot blocking presence that Walker is. With that in mind, I do like that because these guys will move the ball regardless. Like, whoop. Absolutely unequivocally, they will move the ball if these guys play on the court together, and they have enough shooting to hit their shots. Right, you're a 7. If you kick the ball to him in the corner and he's got 5 feet of space, he's pulling that shot. You don't got to worry about that. Markin will catch the ball in the corner and he won't, or he'll hesitate before doing it, which throws off the rhythm of getting the pass. Which obviously he'll work his way back in. Obviously he's coming back from that elbow injury or whatever, but you said mostly a score first lineup. When you're down 2 to 3 points, you need to score. Yeah, but still, they're also not a liability defensively. Like, George might be a little bit, but the effort's going to be there, right? Dunn is going to be straps. Olynyk is going to be serviceable. Markkanen is going to be okay. Your 7 is going to be okay. They're not bad defenders. I guess you would say the worst defender out of them positionally would have to be Keontae. But Keontae is also more liable to swing the ball than Clarkson or THT or Sexton even. Could you insert Sexton in for George? Sexton would be a slightly more positive from a shot making standpoint, and defensively he wouldn't be as rough. That being said, Sexton has games where, like, you see him playmaking, you're like, okay, I like that. And then he has other games or like 2 or 3 plays in between, like 5 or 6 good ones where you're like, no, absolutely not. Please stop. And then he goes back to doing good stuff. And you're like, nice. It's like it's like an up and down thing. So, but for playmaking, yeah, definitely that lineup could definitely work. He says sometimes I feel too loud though. No, I mean, at the end of the day, oh yeah, I meant to say to you, and I didn't tell you, but this mic, I just got it in the mail today off Amazon. It was part of the Cyber Monday sales. Your channel membership actually helped me buy this mic. Couldn't have done it without you. I appreciate it. I told Logic that earlier, and Derek. Anybody that's ever donated money, it turned into this microphone, and eventually it will turn into a second camera. It won't be seen obviously here on the live because you can't like toggle through camera channels, but in my other videos, once the jerseys come in, right, I'm gonna set the jerseys up on the wall behind me. I'll move the camera out this way, and I'll sit in the center of the couch and give you guys like more of a wide range of the camera. of what I have going on, and then I'll probably just like leave the laptop in the screen because I don't read like actual I don't have a script I ever go off of for the videos. I always just read metrics off the screen and shoot off the cuff from the ideas that I generally had to talk about for it, and then cut out my pauses in between. So that'll be nice to do. I was also thinking one time I could like do a stream of me actually like recording one of my videos. I don't know how entertaining people would actually find that to be though, but I just figured like it would be interesting in a sense because some people are thinking about getting into content creation. Some people e- don't, but they also just enjoy watching how content creation, like how the magic happens behind the scenes. I just figured like, that might be cool to do at some point. But yeah. The only player that was available to play that did not play for the Jazz was Micah Potter. Samanic played 5, almost 6 minutes, was 2 of 2 to go along with 2 boards, a block, and a turnover. Ochai was quiet today, but he was 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. 3 boards, 3 assists, solid defense, 1 turnover, in 21 minutes. So he was on the court. He was just not loud enough for people to really pay attention to a lot of the time. That being said, we have what? Would you say, night guy? Who do we all think can help the Jazz realistically? Who should we try to go after? Hmm. I want an egoless player. Whoever it is, I want an egoless player. I don't want somebody that has a big, like, bravado energy about themselves. Somebody that's calm, gonna get the job done. Right? I know we got rid of Mike Conley, which was the perfect fit. The Timberwolves are making love to him right now. Sick. Christian, yes, sir. How's it going? Been busy, didn't realize the game was today. Totally missed it. Well, I'll tell you now, you missed the game, but they missed all their shots. As a matter of fact, we shot 37%, 38% from the field. We shot better from 3 than we did from the field. 16 to 39 versus 34 for 90. Yeah, we couldn't buy a basket. It's okay though. This show gets better at some point, just not for us. Said it was a good game to miss. We're trying to bleach our eyes. What Night Guy said. Realistically, we could get a guard from the Raptors. I don't know how much that would help us though. Valid point. Raptors are outside the playoffs, looking in with no future. Give them enough picks they literally can't refuse. Yeah, Masai is also a very interesting guy to make deals with. I feel like him and Ainge could cook up something that would benefit both sides without like costing anybody too much. It depends on if they have something we want or not. Jeez. Against the Grizzlies. Yeah, against the Grizzlies. We gave them their first home win. They had their biggest lead they've ever held in a game this season against us. Fun fact. But, nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing out of the ordinary. I'd offer a lot for Halliburton, but they won't accept. Absolutely. I would sell souls for Halliburton, but I know they won't. Rusty Buckets actually made a video talking about how close Halliburton is to prime CP3, like 4th-year CP3, and the resemblance is uncanny. The only difference was like where their shot volume was from. CP3 obviously had shot a lot more middies. Halliburton shoots a lot more threes, but overall their efficiency is roughly similar, and their assist turnover ratio is nasty. He's going to be the first guy to average like 23 points, 12 assists, shooting 50, 40, 90 splits which is nasty and honestly just wild. Wild to think about. Um, let's see. Chris, you said Kessler had 6 blocks though, which was nice. Yeah. 3 of them came in the fourth quarter. So that was more pleasant to see overall. I mean, he didn't shoot particularly well from the field. He was 4 of 11, but he started out the game like 3 of what? 3 of 8? 3 of No, it was worse than that actually. He started the game like 1 of 6, didn't he? I think I did because I think he did because I started saying something about it. Yeah, I think he was 1 of 6. He started the game 1 of 6, so he hit 3 of his next 5. So we'll cut him some slack, not a lot, but some. And then he did end up taking 2 3-pointers, so I'll excuse those. I'd give 4 picks, some swaps, and THT and Sexton for a maybe more. The only thing that's off limits is probably Lowry and Kessler, realistically. Someone get D Will on the phone. He can give us 20 minutes of light. We need something. We need something. Bring Kemba Walker back into the league. But he's more of a scorer first, so I guess that wouldn't really help us now, would it? Who doesn't I need Lonzo to come back from injury. That's what I need. Absolutely positively. That would be like a godsend for us. But the odds that that actually happens is highly unlikely, all things considered. But it's more realistic. I'd say that's more realistic than Halliburton, low key, just because the value that he has to his team isn't extremely high. And right now, like the Bulls, they have 2 lineups that sport like egregiously bad metrics, like from a box plus minus, I think is like negative 30 low key. I forget what the minimum number of minutes that they had to have played on the court together was, but it was like egregiously bad. Like their starters and then whoever the first man was off the bench. And like those lineups were sitting there with to the point where no other team, even the Trailblazers and the Grizzlies, haven't had a lineup touch it, like come within 10 points of what they were negative wise, at least. But, today was a day. I passed 4,000 watch hours. I just need the subs now. I'm at 744, I think, at the moment. So, climbing to 1,000. Then I'll best believe when I get my first brand deal, I'm gonna try Manscaped first. If I can get that first brand deal in before Christmas, y'all are gonna know. Y'all are gonna know. Y'all, there will be signs. There will be signs. I don't know what the signs will be. I might be wearing a jersey. I might be wearing like a super rare jersey. I might just spend the brand money on that. You might see me stream on a Saturday or a Sunday. That might be it, because that means the brand deal paid for me to be off the weekend. That would be nice. But until we see that, we'll never know. He said, would you take a risk on Zion if the Pelicans were to look to trade? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me finish what you said, though. They probably won't, but I honestly don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Yeah, for sure. I really, on that Pelicans team, I would take Brandon Ingram, right? I would definitely take Zion. And I would also take, what's his name? I would take CJ McCollum. Any of the 3, really. I'll find a way to make out. Zion might be a more difficult fit because he is more of a point forward, right? But he's not necessarily a playmaker, which puts him in a similar water to John Collins. He's just harder to stop offensively. Defensively, he's a brick wall, but he doesn't move laterally as quick as he needs to. And that, alongside his injury proneness, is slightly problematic. But if we could get him, I'd make it work. Brandon Ingram, more of a playmaker, more reliable, would have a more seamless fit if you were to sub him in for John Collins. So I could see that. But I don't think he fits the vibe of this team personality-wise. He's quiet, but he always looks like he's high. Somebody said that in the chat last video. Like he looks high off his behind all the time. But I still take him though. CJ out of the 3 of them would be the best fit though. because he's a consistent bucket. He's efficient from the floor, and he's a pretty decent playmaker. He's not an elite table setter, right? But he's at least Chris Dunn with it. He's at least Chris Dunn or peak current Keontae George as a playmaker. I'll take both of those, honestly. You said, yeah, I give Ingram for sure. I get Ingram for sure. I give the Pels Clarkson, 2 picks and 4 blunts. Well, we'll need to keep the blunts. We'll have to sit him inside his locker. Let's sit him on his locker on the bench part. How's Zion 3-point percentage looking this season? Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Because Zion low-key wasn't terrible from 3 sometimes. That being said, let me actually pull this up before I sit there and start blowing smoke. And he's like shooting like 24%. Dun, 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 dun. 50%. I don't know on how many attempts. I'm about to look. Zion shoots higher than 35%. I'd be surprised if Zion shoots higher than 35% from 3 season. His career percentage is 35.2%, high key. I'm obviously assuming it's on low volume. Against the 76ers, what's today? The 30th? No. Against the 76ers in 33 minutes, he had 33 points. He went 11 for 11 from the field with 8 boards, 6 assists. He's got assist game like that? Hold on. Let me find out. He's averaging 4.8 assists a game. That's wild. Hold on. Zion, you've been holding out on me, buddy? Let me find out. I'm about to look at his overall. Oh, wait, this is the last 5 games. Let me see overall his stats for this season. Per game. Okay, so he's shooting 0.3 for 0.6. There's been 24 games, so 24 times 0.6.
The answer is 14.4.
So he's taken 15 threes, I'm guessing. No, 14 threes, and he's hit 7 of those 14, I'm guessing. That's my understanding. Unless he's 8 of 16, which is also possible. He's probably 8 of 16, actually. I'm slow. He's 8 of 16 from 3 this season. So he doesn't shoot threes like that, but he's willing to take an attempt where it might be available, basically. CJ is good, but he's also Mr. Glass. That is true. That is very true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Tayan. It's interesting. Obviously, it's on very low volume, but still. Basically, when he takes it, it's a pretty sure shot. That's what it sounds like. Utah fried sauce would do Zion, and if he came here. I mean, he's in New Orleans, so he got gumbo. He got all sorts of seafood, all sorts of crawdads. He's got the sea roaches on his plate. Man, any seafood boil you've ever heard of is on his plate. But I heard he got a little bit more in shape, though, in preparation for the season, so that was nice. And he hasn't been injured yet. He's 24 games in, so this is already, at worst, his 3rd most available season. 3 out of 5. He missed the entirety of 21-22 with his foot injury. I am special. I am so very special. Wow. I'm looking at Basketball Reference and I flip-flopped it. I'm used to everybody like the most recent being at the top. He's definitely at the bottom. He's 0.1 for 0.3 this season. So he's actually across 14 games done how many? He hasn't shot that many threes basically this season so far. Moral of the story. But he is still shooting 50%. So there's that. But anywho, his assist numbers are the most surprising, though. All things considered, his assist numbers were that high. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know he was a playmaker like that. Like I knew he was more of a point forward than say John Collins, but I didn't think he was an assistful point forward. Like that's actually kind of crazy. And like it's not like 3 assists. 4.8 assists is a pretty significant amount of assists. That's 5 assists. LeBron's only averaging like 7 right now, so it's pretty respectable, all things considered. And that's more assists than I'm pretty sure Kessler, Lowry, and Collins all combined for their averages this season combined for. I'm pretty sure. I don't think the Pels will listen to some offers for Zion. Yeah, it would have to be hefty, but I think so still. But he's also hurt way too much. Yeah, that's what would benefit the team that's trying to trade for him. Don't technically need Zion to be that 3 guy with Lowry either. True. A Zion Lowry pick and roll would be nasty. Really, any pick and roll that involves Zion Williamson is kind of hilarious. I remember when he was at Duke and he was just like booming everything. Goodness. We do need Lowry back bad. This game showed it. I didn't think we needed him. I didn't think we needed him back that bad because when we played the Pelicans, we looked comfortable. But obviously, no. Because nobody could buy a bucket today. And when usually your number one option is the only person producing for your team consistently, and you're expecting the number 2, number 3, and everybody else to. The number 3 produced, but there was no number 2 that showed up today. That was the issue. Will Hardy is losing this team because he refused to make the right adjustments. The entire team played terrible. But Sexton needs to start. Oh, Incognito, you just hopped in here and you agreed with what I had been preaching the entire time. Yeah, I said Sexton over Clarkson because we're not setting Clarkson up to succeed with the lineups that we're rolling out. So it's time to just go Colin Sexton. John Collins was efficient as he always is. Not the most stellar defensive performance from him, but he also wasn't terrible. Overall, a slight positive, I would say, in my eyes, performance-wise. Hardy continuing to start Clarkson is draining the team top of his rotations. Yeah. I bet we could deal with Portland for Grant. That would be interesting, actually. That would actually not be terrible. Jeremy Grant? I could see something happening there. Which is can Hardy make. I love Hardy as a coach, especially last year, achieving the sad realities he's given not so ideal roster. He's tried about everything except my baller close and lineup. That sounds as fiery as I tried. Taking 200% on Hardy. Yeah. Clarkson needs to be free to play as a 6-man. Sexton needs to be free to be an efficient bucket. Yeah. Helps the team mentally create proper hierarchy. Yeah. Was a starter with THT at the beginning of the season. Sexton didn't start with THT at the beginning of the season, Tayton. It was Clarkson the whole time, wasn't it? Am I tripping? I don't think Collins started this season. Like, yet. I could be having a very bad memory recall moment, though. I'm about to find out. Hold on. I'm about to find out. Colin Sexton stats. If I just randomly mentally glossed over this, I'm gonna be so pissed. Because what have I really been doing with my life? Obviously, I want the stats. No, Tatum, he hasn't started this regular season. I think he started in the preseason, but he hasn't started this regular season. Yeah, he's been off the bench the entire time. Yeah. No, Clarkson started in both. Because Clarkson played, I'm pretty sure against the Clippers, he actually played the most minutes on the team. He outpaced Lowry by like 2 minutes, a minute and a half. I want to say he played slightly more minutes than Lowry did in that one. He led the team in minutes. Against the Kings, we went Clarkson as well. Yeah, because the beginning of the season, before Keontae got the green light to start, we had rolled out the same lineup like literally 8 games in a row, I think. Because THT and Clarkson were the tandem that we ran the first 8 games of the season. Then Walker went down with injury, and that's when he decided to spice things up. But we kept Clarkson there the entire time. So Clarkson has had the longest leash out of anybody. I can't remember who it is in the channel, but somebody really doesn't like the fact that he has the longest leash for good measure to a certain extent because, yeah. But at the same time, I would go as far as to say he's the only guy that's on the roster from 2 years ago, so you have to give him a certain level of playability. That being said, I wouldn't give him this long. I couldn't give him this long. Mm, where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Playing him with THT is never going to result in positivity and consistently. Correct. I would agree. Maybe we should try that again. Try what part? Both have nothing to lose. Why not give Sexton a chance to start? They're literally every guard except Colin. Colin and Chris Dunn. That's my pairing. Start Colin and Chris Dunn. Have Keontae and Clarkson come off the bench. Right? Both like 25-ish minutes a game, giving them ample time to get buckets, but Clarkson won't be liable to take 20 shots in a game because he won't be able to find 20 shots in a game that he loves, right? In 25 minutes. That would actually be scary, honestly. Keontae gets to watch Dunn work firsthand and get his playmaking a little bit more in the rounds. Obviously, we saw him get that great sample size in the beginning, but then against the Pelicans and, even this game, even though we started him at the shooting guard, it just wasn't that great. So I would say put Clarkson on the bench, 25 minutes a night, 25, 27, THT needs to get traded. He needs to have a new home. He's not a bad player. He's just not able to be efficient here. And that's the biggest problem. So we're doing him a disservice by keeping him on the roster, thinking that something miraculously is going to get better. Unless he wants to stay here and he's fine being on the bench. Because Chris Dunn has been the guy that has this whole time has been living off $2.5 million, which after taxes has to be like 1.2, right? And he hasn't complained not a bit, not at all. So if THT is comfortable just not playing that many minutes or playing spot minutes here and there, then yeah, by all means keep him. But let's see. You said we can't play Clarkson and Sexton at the same time. I think at the very least one has to go. Yeah. I would say they can stagger each other's minutes, but I think we need to switch. If you give Sexton the green light and tell him and make him feel like he's not going to get pulled as soon as he turns the ball over twice, he's going to take shots that Colin Sexton likes taking. He's not going to take just any shot to get him a bucket because he feels like, Hardy's breathing out his neck. And if he doesn't play well, he's going to get yanked. Because I feel like that's how some of these guys that come off the bench are feeling. THT had the opportunity to be that guy, right? There was a lot of minutes that were spent on him and things just didn't pan out. With that in mind, I've seen enough of the THT experiment to say he's not the starting point guard for this team. And I've seen enough of him on the bench to say, well, unless something drastically changes, he's not a big minutes guy off the bench either. Not a bad player, just not a very important piece on this roster. It's kind of like when people build super teams and they think they're going to, because we have all these great players are going to be well. And then like it doesn't work. Not because the players are bad, but because the players together aren't a great fit for one another. It's one of those situations in my eyes. Dunn and Sexton can play together easily. Don't think George is ready to start. George had some great games against subpar competition. He wasn't bad against Phoenix either, right? But against the more middle of the road teams, he's going to struggle. And I think it's time to go ahead and give Chris Dunn the opportunity. I actually had a video recorded previous to this game that I'm going to drop tomorrow. I have to cut it up as soon as I get off live. I'm editing it and I'm sending it to my clipper, and he's going to add some basketball videos in there because I'm hoping that I need one banger video, and I think that could be it. It's a hot take because my thumbnail is literally. Let me check to make sure. I don't want to mislead y'all. My thumbnail is literally the Jazz bench Keontae George, which obviously they didn't, but it's supposed to be convincing people that they should in the video, which is a crazy ask at this point because of how not good we are. But at the same time, I think it would be a valuable video, you know? And if I add like basketball clips to keep the younger kids involved, they might actually like subscribe. And I only need I think I'm at 774 subscribers still right now. I don't think anybody new joined us in the stream and decided to subscribe. So it'll be what it will be. But I think that'll be it. If I could hit monetization before Christmas, that would be awesome because that means I did it in 6 months. You know how happy I'd be if I did that in 6 months? be ecstatic. But um, we said mixed up regular season with preseason. Oh no, you're good, Tatum. You're good. Sexton and Clarkson can't play together because Clarkson isn't willing to pass. Well, Clarkson is he's sometimes he is a willing passer, but the issue is he's not a proficient passer. Sometimes a guy that's willing to give up the ball isn't always as good as somebody that knows how to give up the ball. Those aren't the same thing. And Clarkson struggles with that. Yeah, I'd say. It's a mental thing with Sexton for a very reason you said. Hardy is the back of his head. He can't fully play freely. Hardy's clearly shown he pulls sexy at any Sexton. When he messes up, yeah. Cough, cough, Clippers, cough, cough, Nets. George has a very high ceiling. Look at Peyton Manning. His first year was terrible. Yeah, and I would go as far as to say Keontae George's season hasn't been terrible, right? He hasn't been bad. He has been shooting bad from the field, but he's not taking terrible shots. I'm not gonna lie. Whoever runs like the Jazz official like blog pages and some of the more prominent Jazz like news articles, they I can tell they've never played basketball before because the way they talk about the players sometimes it's like that's not what happened in the game. Like they said at one point, Keontae George takes terrible shots all the time, and in my head I'm like, it's kind of hard to only take 8 shots across 33 minutes and all 8 of your shots be bad or 5 out of your 8 shots be bad. That doesn't really happen. And for the way they worded it made it seem like he just can't shoot worth a lick. And I was like, yes, I want Chris Dunn to start. But at the same time, we're not going to sit here and act like Keontae George is just complete hot dog water because he is the best point guard to come out of this draft. Right. The minutes that he's been playing lately, since we haven't been like winning those games, and we did win obviously against the Pelicans, they've been valuable minutes for his development. That being said, his jumper isn't coming on consistently yet. So it's time where it's like, okay, if we're not going to tank, it's time to move him to the bench and have him come off with Clarkson. Move Clarkson and him to the bench. Go ahead and give Dunn the opportunity, right? Because he's the best defensive piece we have. And give Sexton the best opportunity because guard-wise, he will be the most efficient pound-for-pound scorer we have. And I think if you give Colin Sexton a 10-game sample size, give him 10 straight starts, let him play 31 to 34 minutes, right? Number one, he's never going to take 20 shots. I don't think I've ever seen Colin Sexton take 20 shots in a game. So he's automatically going to have less overall misses and less overall shot attempts that negate what Lowry does well, even if he has a god-awful night, right? Combine the fact that he's going to be getting fed the ball by Chris Dunn off catch and shoot opportunities. Love that. Also, when he has the ball and he's scoring for himself, he's going to be able to find his own shots that he actually wants to take because he's not going to have to worry about if I miss 2 shots, coach is going to be sitting here looking at me like about to pull me to the bench. He's not going to have to worry about that because he knows I'm going to get my 30 minutes anyways. Let me be consistent. And that'll be good. That'll be good stuff. I trust it. I trust it overall. My repairman just made me sad, guys. He just texted me. It came up on my laptop. He said, "Hey, buddy, sorry for the late text. I finally got the headlight, but I got the wrong one. Apparently, there's 2 kinds." The headlight cost me $600. This night keeps getting better. This night keeps getting better. Night guy, I'll catch you, boy. Oh, please, I don't have any more money. I don't have the money for another headlight. Please tell me you can return that one in like. Please. That's actually a problem. Sorry. Yeah, I wasn't trying to do that. But you said Keontae either makes the most amazing passes I've seen or he gives a super lame turnover on a simple pass. Yeah. He's definitely a risk it for the biscuit guy, and I like that sometimes, but sometimes I really hate it. You said there's trouble inbounding the ball for some reason, which I find strange. Yeah, actually, like reading it is very interesting. When he throws these crazy accurate assists, I don't get it. It's weird because he's really good in bad situations, but he's a little rough in easy situations. It's almost like he thrives when the pressure's on, but sucks when it's easy. Not sucks, but he just makes boneheaded mistakes. Um, then he throws these crazy passes. Right, just give him the opportunity that others were afforded, allow him to play and get in the rhythm. Exactly. My general rule of thumb when it comes to any player is if you're bad, I will know. I will know because I will give you the opportunity to prove to me you're bad. I'm not going to call you bad right out the gate, even if your numbers suggest you can't do something. I'm going to let you prove, I'm going to let you miss those shots, turn the ball over that many times, fail at getting those stops on defense. And then when it happens, and it's time to make adjustments, and you say, "Well, no, I was fine doing that." I'm going to say, "No, you weren't." If we look back at the film at this segment right here, tell me what happens in this sequence. Okay, that wasn't enough. All right, we're going to go to this sequence now. What happened here? That sort of thing. Like that's the mindset, the motto, the mantra that I run with. So if we gave THT the opportunity, right? We gave Clarkson this entire opportunity. Um, Keontae's had a fair sample size. It's time to give Chris Dunn a sample size. And it's time to give Colin Sexton a sample size. Has Colin Sexton played more minutes than Chris Dunn? Yes. Has he played? He's averaging like 19 minutes. Yeah, he's averaging 19.9 minutes a game. Fair, right? But he's not good in spot minutes the way they're playing him. So they need to give him the opportunity to free roam. If he picks his shots and you give Chris Dunn the opportunity to pick his shots, and he doesn't have to worry about him getting subbed out after playing 7 minutes in the game and that being the last time he sees the court all night, you don't think he takes smarter shots? You don't think on a drive, instead of going up and forcing a layup, he doesn't kick to the corner because he knows the pass is there. He's just not making it because he feels like he has to make himself look really good. Because if the guy in the corner hits the three, you say, "Oh, that was a cool pass," but you're looking at the guy that hit the three because that three is 3 points. And right now, when you're the Jazz, you're supposed to be a really good offensive team, or at least middle of the pack, middle of the road type offensive team. And defensively, you're struggling. So he'll make a name for himself on defense. And Colin Sexton, given ample time, will make a name for himself offensively. And together, while it will be one of the lower sized duos in the backcourt, I think that they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay. But you said, especially playing spot minutes, his history of production shows he's an efficient, productive guard. Yeah, I'd agree. Yep. And since we can't properly table set for Jordan Clarkson, we're really just putting him out there, allowing him to look bad, and he can't look good. Look at Dunn last year. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Exactly, Tatum. Somebody said that they felt like the end of the season's metrics weren't as important as the beginning of the season metrics in the comment section of that video that I made. I disagreed on the grounds that at the end of the season, you have guys that are trying to tank, guys that are trying to, and then the guys that are trying to either jump up in the playoff ranking or go down to get a more favorable matchup. Either way, everybody has a particular goal. At the beginning of the season, everybody doesn't have everything ironed out. So it's more so everybody trying to sort themselves out. So they're really the same to me, the beginning. The real battle is right around the trade deadline. Because that's when you really know what type of team you are. So those games are the most significant when it comes to a sample size of minutes. But the end of the season and the beginning of the season to me are the same thing. Um came kind of close to a triple double like twice. By close I mean like 7 rebounds, but still, yeah, that's still close. That's still close. It's simple. LOL. I don't think people realize how minutes, dang, how minutes impact the player's production and also the mental state side of the game. Exactly. Yeah. And multiple games with 10 plus assists. Yep. 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 We don't get our pick anyway. No point in tanking. Yeah. Jazz should be committed to tanking, developing these youngsters. Alternative is the best plan. We end up losing our first round pick this year, don't we? I forget what the actual protections are on it, but I'm pretty sure we lose it. So tanking wouldn't really benefit us. The alternative is the best playing spot. and a bad draft ranking. Yes, but I would argue that for Keontae George's development, since we have him playing on the team right now, I think him being a cog in the machine on a winning roster would be more conducive to his long term success at an earlier point than him playing a lot of minutes, but the roster being absolutely hot dog water. Because if we're losing those games and it's just essentially a foregone conclusion, he's not really learning how to be a winner in those games. He's learning how to get his shots up and he's learning what types of passes he should make. But at the end of the day, he's not getting to see the full genuine picture. Whereas if he comes off the bench and he plays 20, 25 minutes, even if we do make a plan, he's going to get the feeling of the playoff atmosphere coming off the bench. Right. And obviously the play is not as important as the actual playoffs. I do understand that wholeheartedly. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, they're pretty close. They're not. But despite what Patrick Beverly had to say that one year where he took his jersey off and threw it off in the stands. But overall, I would say that that might be more beneficial for me personally. I'm definitely open to like disagreements and stuff like that. But I would say for me personally, that would probably look the best long term for him and his success with the team. Especially since right now we're expecting him to be the heir to the throne. Crazy part is the Jazz have all the pieces to be really good, and they messed up the team with the roles they're giving guys. It's rough. Are we a perfectly, synergized team? No, but the chemistry off the court to me, at face value, it looks really good. Do we have the talent on the court to win games? Yes, I would say so. We're just literally certain people buying in on defense and guys hitting their shots on offense. Like those are our two biggest issues. And then obviously like the playmaking, but that ties into guys hitting their shots on offense. Because there's been a lot of times where people will make a good pass, but the shot just won't fall. It'll be a bad miss. Sometimes it clanks off the iron. Sometimes it's an air ball. But that's part of the conundrum we have to deal with. You said if we become 1 seed and you give the 30th pick to Dallas, I'll be happy. That would be a dream come true. But I don't know how feasible that would be for us, all things considered. Bro, my car has me so sad. We're one guard away from being really good. Yeah. Yeah, we are. And from the off the rip, I thought Chris Dunn had the opportunity to I thought he was that guard, but I was like, if even if we don't have that guard on the roster, Chris Dunn is probably the closest we have to it. And even if he's not hitting his shots, he brings elite perimeter defense. At least, right? So on a bad shooting night, if he goes 2 of 9 from the field, he's still strapping up on the other team's point guard. Right now, if Keontae goes 2 of 9, he's not strapping up. He's gonna try, right? He's gonna try to play good defense. Or if you have Clarkson on the floor, Lord knows he's gonna be locked in probably half the time. But he's just not gonna be as pretty to watch. That's all. That's all. That's it. He said we have like 12 picks to get that guard. Yeah, we can afford a lot of mistakes. That's something you always love. If you're allowed to make mistakes and they won't cost you too graciously, you're appreciative of that. Because it's going to be hard to make that much of a mistake for real. He said, Freddie. Speaking of defense, THT too thick for his position. He too slow. He can't get through the screen to save himself. He gave him thick with 1C. He can't even get the 2Cs? But nah, I do understand your point of view on that, though. I definitely understand it. Too thick. I'm with it, though. I understand, I understand. He doesn't have the same quickness factor that, like, Keontae and the rest of them do. That does come down to positional size, but his size allows him to guard a wider range of players. I'll give him that. You playing too much? I'm handling too much is another issue. Bro, that action, what was it? Leading into halftime, I think. They had an action between Colin Sexton and THT. THT's winding the clock down. And then, excuse me, not THT. Sexton is winding the clock down. And then, after the clock gets down to like 7-ish seconds, dribble handoff to THT, who promptly drives downhill and does an acrobatic finish and bricks crazy. I was like, bro, what? Colin, why did you pass that, bro? If anything, it should have been the other way around. It should have been the other way around because THT isn't the he doesn't have that clutch gene. If he's watching the stream, THT, understand we're not cooking you because we hate you. We just don't think that you're in the best situation to succeed. With that being said, he doesn't have that. He doesn't got that dog in him that Colin Sexton has for that clutch shot to hit, in my opinion. Right? In my opinion, I'm just one guy. I'm just a random black guy that talks on the internet and has people that enjoy talking enough about their team that they tolerate his voice. So what do I know sometimes? You know what I'm saying? He said, Travel Horton Tucker. I came up with a new nickname every day. It's just one of those things. But if you guys didn't have any really big things to bring up, I was going to go ahead and close this one out for today since we got another one coming soon. Fair? It's been a pretty quiet night overall. It's just been us. You know, we've been in the single digits numbers wise though. But again, thanks Tay-In. Matter of fact, let me rattle off this list real quick. Let me talk. Let me talk to these boys real quick. Shout out Derek, Carter, Lee, Dink, Chase. Did I say Derek already? I said Derek already. Lee repeatedly, Derek repeatedly, Tay-In, yeah, for this microphone, because you got me the microphone. Let me see. His decision making too unpredictable. The primary one, yeah. You said doing a stream tomorrow? Absolutely, yep. Because what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's not Saturday, is it? Please tell me I don't work overnight tomorrow. No, tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna be on there tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. Lee just went. Tell me how I was just about to end stream and Lee pops in here. See, I delayed just long enough to see the goat join the chat. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about, Lee. Quality. But yeah, Tay, I will be doing a stream tomorrow. Absolutely. Yep. Is the game at 8 tomorrow as well? I think the game's at 8 tomorrow. I think the game's. Let me see. Go Utah Jazz. Let me see. Yeah, tomorrow at 8, so it'll be roughly the same thing. New sub, Carbon's Apprentice. What's up, bro? You said, do you stream the Spurs game as well? When do the Spurs play? Was there a specific game that you were looking at? I really followed the Jazz most heavily because their fan base usually tunes into the channel the most. So really, at the very least, like a good 500 of my subs are strictly Jazz fans. But I'm glad to have you in here, bro. 100%. Why did you want to talk about the Spurs? Did you want to talk about the Spurs today? Because we definitely can. I was actually about to hop off, but I've always got room for a little bit more basketball. Plus, I don't get really many requests from other people as to like what they want to go from there. Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all avid basketball fans. You know, you dig what I'm saying? Spurs tomorrow. Oh, they play tomorrow at 8. Okay, they're doing so bad. It'd be tough to talk about. Well, this is the thing, right? I have a couple. I don't have. Obviously, I don't watch the Spurs as heavily as some people do to have a big take on a lot of things. But with that being said, give me one moment while I pull up these metrics, and I have something that I actually wanted to say about them. Okay, so obviously, I'll pull up these stats. Stats is what I really need to look at. Not overall team stats. I need the players. Silly goose. There we go. All right. So I'll organize it by games played. I forgot Cedi Osman was on the Spurs. All right. So where are we? Doing so bad. It's tough to talk about. Got ice my back. Keep the stream. All right, Lee. Got you. Got you. Love watching the Spurs with their young talent. Christian's in on it. All right. So just to make things short and sweet, Jeremy Sohan at point guard is a very interesting decision that they're going to make. Ideally, we knew the Spurs were going to be bad this year, right? Regardless of how generationally great Wemby was, the Spurs were going to be bad this year. That being said, it's a very interesting developmental decision to go ahead and go that way, considering that Sohan's shooting 42% from the field and 37% from three. Admittedly, the 37% is on 2 attempts a game, but you still got to honor it because that is a respectable percentage, right? Overall, their 3-point shooting is there. They do have Doug McDermott playing about 17 minutes a game. So they're comfortable enough to do what they do, which is understandable, right? Again, he shoots 48% from the field, but he only takes about 4.5 attempts a game, 4.5 field goal attempts a game. Obviously, the poster child of the team is Wemby. Then you have Zach Collins and Keldon Johnson putting in some significant work. People have been saying that Trey Jones should be the starter over Jeremy Sohan. Now, the logic that I understand behind it is that if Jeremy Sohan takes to it well enough in due time, it will be worthwhile for them to do it this way. The issue comes when he doesn't. Now, right now, I'm looking at it. He averages four and a half. I'm wrong. 2.5 assists to 1 turnover. So he's not great, right? Now, the thing is, Tay, and who made it? Was it did you watch the Rusty Buckets one too? Lee before his dying breath. Like and subscribe. Um I would say the biggest issue that comes with that is if he doesn't take to it. Because if he doesn't take to it, you just wasted a lot of precious minutes for Trey Jones to get chemistry up with the guys. And yeah, that's not ideal at all. Now, Trey Jones isn't a generational, franchise leading point guard, but he is a genuine point guard. He's similar to his brother in the fact that he's just real at the end of the day. Now, the biggest issue for the Spurs this season is going to be deciding what their identity is. We know you're a Wemby-led team, but there's been too many times where they run plays and actions that just don't get Wemby the ball where he's available. And Wemby doesn't quite have that Kevin Durant type game. At times he flashes it, but I would say He's got a little bit more of a Dirk type game where he's not necessarily a point forward all the time. Sometimes he can bring the ball up and operate on his own, but other times he needs them to get him involved. Now, because of that, he scores most of his points within like 5 feet of the rim. If they run so many actions so many times where it's like, uh-oh, he's got to be somewhere over there, and they just throw him the jump ball. And obviously he's going to come down with it because he's just so massive, right? He doesn't weigh a lot, which is as he builds muscle, that will make him a better player overall because he'll be able to do more things. He won't get pushed off his spots as easily, and he's still going to be long and lanky, so he's still going to be able to finish at the rim, but with much more ease now. With that in mind, it's just going to take time to do. And because of his massive frame, it's going to take a minute for him to gain some muscle mass. But if anybody can get the job done, I think the Spurs training staff can. Pop is allowed to be bad at this point in his life, right? He's like 80 years old, isn't he? Like, or pretty darn close. He said, damn, brother, you gave me a full analysis at the drop of a dime. The thing is, at the end of the day, I like to be a student of the game. I don't have to love any particular team. Like a team that I really don't like. What's a team that really sucks? There's a team that's really bad. The Spurs, in my opinion, they're rough, but they aren't terrible. Who's the other bottom feeder in the Western Conference? The Grizzlies. No, I'm not gonna do the Grizzlies though. For example, like the Hornets. I grew up as in North Carolina, and so the Hornets have been just like the team that you always watch. You said the team that the team doesn't, but the fans do. The Suns, yeah, absolutely. Like my thing is always, no matter how much I don't like a team, I'm gonna be honest about I'm gonna be honest about whatever I understand about them. I'm not gonna ever tell you anything I don't know for certain. And if I do think there's something coming from a bias or something that's opinionated, I'm gonna tell you it's my opinion. Those are the three biggest things for me because that makes sure we have a transparent relationship. And it's a thing of like me and you could see me in the store and we can talk basketball and I would talk to you the same way I talk to you on stream, right? I don't want it to be this mechanical. So Victor Wembanyama had 20 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists in last night's game. It was very interesting to see from him, considering that he has much room to grow on this Spurs roster. I'm not going to hit you with one of those. I know in my videos I come off a little bit more that way just because like I'm talking to a camera. But by and large, like when you're on the stream with us, like it's a real chill family environment. We're just chatting it up about whatever the case may be. Obviously, it's usually about the Jazz, but today we didn't really have much to talk about because of how bad we lost. So when you came in here and asked about the Spurs, I was like, oh yeah. And like as you can tell, most of the guys were just welcoming of it because basketball is basketball at the end of the day. And I try to keep up as best I can with everybody's teams. Every now and then I get caught off guard with like an injury. They'll be like, "Oh, so and so hasn't played in 3 games." I'll be like, "Oh, what? What happened?" And that does tend to happen to me. Obviously, the more I hyper into the Utah, the more it happens. But by and large, I've and that on top of that, I also like in my free time, if I'm not watching like a comedy video on YouTube, I'm probably watching not highlights. I rarely watch highlights. If I'm gonna watch a tape, I want to see like just the raw game tape, just the condensed version, so I can see like the best parts of both teams. But I do frequent a lot of other basketball content creators who have different favorite teams and also make videos about a bunch of different guys. And so basically what that allows me to do is get their perspectives. And I agree with some of their takes. Some of them I drastically disagree with. Sometimes they say something and I'm just like, where the hell did you come up with that? That makes no sense. You need your mic taken from you. Right. We all have a certain take like that. But sometimes it's a hill they're willing to die. Sometimes they just suggest something and it's like, kind of, but I just try to stay like as evenly keeled in the overall basketball space as possible. That and numbers tell me a lot. Because like for example, what I just said right there, it was always like I basically just pulled up the NBA.com stats for them. I looked at who's played the most games, who's averaging the most minutes, and then I went over to field goal attempts and percentages. And from that, I know decently about Jeremy Sohan. I know about Victor Wembanyama. I know generally from the past what Zach Collins plays like and what Keldon Johnson plays like. I know Trey Jones, his game is similar to his brother. in the sense of how he like distributes the ball and everything, and also what his weaknesses are that prevent him from being super good. I also remember Seti Osman being the guy that was going to replace LeBron in Cleveland at the small forward position. Didn't happen, obviously. Um, but like that combined with just looking at the numbers tells me everything, or not everything, but enough to make it look like I know a lot. But I'll be the first person to tell you I don't know everything by far. Um, he said Spurs talk will always be welcome to me. Respect the organization a ton. For sure, for sure. He said Wraith is amazing. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, talks about anything and everything, anything I can. In all seriousness, I love all the fans, all the teams, except for the day we play your team. And I hate you for 48 minutes. Lee, that's real. That's real. You said I wouldn't mind taking a comedy as well. Looking forward to being a part of the channel. Good night, y'all. Yes, sir. Have a good night. Glad to have you with us. See, I spoke too soon. We did get somebody to subscribe, guys. We did a good job. You said Christian. You said my high school superintendent was good friends with Coach Pop and was neighbors with Tim Duncan. That is a wild combination. Wow. So he got that Mayan. He got that. That superintendent check been hitting. That superintendent check been hitting. What are you talking about? Nah, I'm playing. But with that being said, anybody got anything else we want to talk about real quick before I hop off? Or are all our hearts clear? I understand. I understand. My fault. Give me 1 second, gentlemen. All right, I'm back. Josh Giddy says hello. Freddie, you're a fool. My superintendent was loaded, but he was way down to earth and was one of the best life mentors around. I believe it. I believe it for sure. Fun times. Can you share a joke? I'm unfortunately not very funny. Okay, let me put it this way. I'm not a make me laugh kind of friend. I'm a somebody said something and I'm going to twist it to make it funny, or they said something funny and I'm going to add my 2 cents to make them look even more funny. Unfortunately. I do tend to be female funny because girl funny is kind of, as a guy, is usually like kind of poking fun at them, but in a cutesy way. So that works for them. But like in the friend group, bro, I had this one friend. He had to be nerfed because he was out of pocket funny. Like, the jokes people shouldn't be making, but there's always that one friend in the friend group that makes them. I had a boy like that. He does YouTube too, Micholo Dolo, but he does more gaming stuff now. But yeah, he was a vibe. My dog. True fans come to streams even after blowout losses to 1 in 81 teams. Yeah. I wonder how many wins they're gonna have when Ja comes back. I don't think they have more than 7. I won't say they get more than 7. Unfortunately, we just spotted them one, which isn't good. Just looking for the box scores. What's up with the usage? The usage on who specifically, or just in general, like how they played everybody. Sean. It's all over the shop every game. Oh, um, they don't have an identity yet. Like JC and Keontae got most of it last game. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Um, they don't have a definite direction, and every time they seem to have something down, they don't really have it down the way we thought they had it down. For example, you said then Sexton and THT well above Keontae now. Bit confused. We all are. We all are. For example, we were talking about earlier. I don't know how long you've actually been in the stream. If you just popped in, what's up? But we were talking about how Clarkson needs to see the bench, Clarkson and Keontae, because if you think this team can win games and you think you're a play-in team if you win enough, Chris Dunn needs to switch with Keontae. Keontae needs to be that secondary point guard that comes off the bench to relieve him, and you need Clarkson to switch to the bench and put Sexton as a starter, because we're not putting Clarkson in a position to get his shots off in an efficient manner, but we're playing him 32 minutes. So he's putting up, you know, 10 shots one night, 15 shots the next night, 23 shots the next night, and going band for band with Lowry Markkinen, but he can't shoot with Lowry Markkinen with the type of lineup we have. And then you have other times where there's a bunch of other guys that are playing and we'll randomly give, THT 25 minutes one night and then give him 16 the next. And I think some of it's based on feel. For if you're Will Hardy, you're not so much focused on like the minutes that each guy's playing, but more so making sure you have, if a guy's hot, you want to keep that guy on the court. And he's kind of struggled with that a little bit, I will say. But by and large, it's just a lack of overall direction and identity that they're still trying to figure out. The issue is we're a fifth of the way through the season now, so we can't really afford to find ourselves. But at worst, you're a bottom team in the league, right? Because that's what everybody expects you to be. So there's no expectation for you to be a playing team. But if you can find a little recipe that can string together some wins as you go, things will get better. I think he has to play with the lineup a little bit more, though, in order for him to get to that point. But for the next at least 10 to 15-ish games, I expect things to be like up and down with the minutes like they have been. You said we can officially be Grizzlies fans for the rest of the season. We want them to beat the other West teams. We have a tiebreaker over them on week. If we're 41-41, we want them to be right there with us. That's real, though. Okay, so I wanted to pop in and say hi. I actually went and watched Godzilla with a couple friends. Figured it wouldn't be on. Well, I hope the movie was better than the game was. That's all I can say. I wish I went to go watch Godzilla too. I wish I was right there at the movies with you, bro. Because yeah, this game didn't. This game wasn't pretty. A whole lot of Roddy going off against Fantecchio and then Fantecchio catching fire late. A whole lot of not shot making. A whole lot of John Collins being John Collins and being efficient from the field. Year 7 was okay deep often. What was I saying? He was okay offensively, but defensively, he left a little bit to be desired because he wasn't shot blocking. Lowry was great defensively, finished the game with 6 blocks, but offensively, he wasn't hitting all his shots. That's really the biggest synopsis of it, I guess I could say. Trap more next stream, but I'll come up with lineups. I'm seriously trying to make a playmaker lineup I made up. Yeah, it would be nice. I'll say that it would definitely be nice, right? Just to see it in action. But it's a matter of time, really. But yeah. Did anybody else have anything interesting they want to touch on? Oh, my brother just sent me the post game clip. So that is the one for today. You said, is it bad if a team shoots worse from 2 than 3 in a game? I don't see that in the box office. They literally. It was worse before because at one point we were shooting 29% from the field. Like that's how bad it got. It got so bad I really wanted to just like slam my screen shut. But I was like, certainly I'm not the only person experiencing this. Please don't let me be the only person watching this game. This is impossible. But yeah, it was just a thing, a really big thing at that, but a thing nevertheless. But yeah, man. Anything else anybody wanted to touch on? Wait, Dan, hold on. Dan, are you still in the chat? And Dan, if you're still in the chat, have you donated to the buy me a coffee thing? I'm trying to figure out who this one person is because somebody donated and I can't remember who it was because there wasn't a name. There wasn't a name attached to it. And for some reason, I don't know why I feel like it was you. It might not have been, but I thought it might have been you. If it's not, it's fine. The search will continue. Glad I didn't watch this one. Yeah, Monty, you saved yourself. Nope, afraid not. I'll come. No, you're good, Dad. I was trying to figure out who the last person was because they told me in the live stream, but I never remembered to save their account as their actual name. And since their name in the thing didn't match whoever it was in the game chat, I couldn't remember. But yeah, this game wasn't worth watching. It was Coop. Thank you, Tayton. Thank you. See, that's why you're an OG. That's why you're a member. That's why you have a blue star in your green text. Literally. Yeah, I was feeling good when we were up too. I think we all were. Coop, purple logo. Yep. He was that guy at one point. He was that guy. But we're back to the drawing board now, unfortunately. For better or for worse, you know. For better or for worse. But yeah, man. Anything else y'all wanted to touch on before I close it down? If not, I'll catch y'all tomorrow at 8. Or I'll probably start at halftime, so it'll probably be like 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in Utah, it'll probably be 7:15 p.m., I guess. Yes, 2-hour difference. I mean, the stream went pretty decent. The game, obviously, not so much, unfortunately. But, back to the drawing board, like I said before. And no, you're good, man. With that being said, thank y'all for sticking around and tuning into this stream. It was not the game with the conclusion that we were hoping for, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? There will be better ones to be had. Tomorrow we'll be back at it again with another stream, promptly at halftime, as I shall do my best to do, as I always do. And as always, thanks for tuning in. It's been your boy Wraith Hoops. Make sure to like, comment your thoughts, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And if you would like to become a member so you can catch the videos sooner than anybody else. And with that being said, good morning, good evening, good night, no matter where you are on the globe watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.